Well, I want to show you a little bit about how to use Simple Genius Project, or SG Project, as a software solution for your project management. Great application. Simple Genius put this out. The SG stands for. And they actually have a couple of different levels for this application. The basic one starts at about 40 bucks, and that one is available for both Mac and for PC. And will give you task lists, let you manage people, give you some reporting, and the benefits of this application as a whole is it goes into much more detail than what like Basecamp or Trello can give you. You can track task durations, you can track task relationships, start to finish, start to start, finish, all of those things, finish to finish, all those kind of relationships can be tracked with SG Project. So it's really a entry level but more powerful project management tool. Now, I use SG Project Pro, and the main reason I went to Pro is, well, there's two of them. One is the reporting, where the entry level you can only do one kind of basic report. In the Pro level, you can do several different kinds of reports. You can customize your reports, and that's been a lot more helpful to me, as most people get cross-eyed when they see a Gantt chart. But if I can just print a task list for that person, that's a huge benefit. So that's why I've used it. The other thing that I really like about it is the ability to see multiple projects in one window. So I want to track all the projects that I have going on at this time, and SG Project Pro will allow me to do that. But really, both levels of applications are going to be helpful, and what I'm going to show you today will benefit both. Will be able to be used by both. So a couple of the pluses to it. I've already mentioned lots more detail. You can get really in-depth as far as costs, as far as schedule. A lot better tracking ability. I can see this is where my project is. Here's a Gantt chart. Here's a line of where today is. This is where I should be in the project, and a great, great tool. The downside of it is, well, the same. There's a lot of detail, and if you're not used to kind of getting that detailed into a project, it can be a little overwhelming. But a great entry-level project management tool. So let me show you how it works. We're going to cover just some of the basics of how to use SG Project. Now, I got my copy off of the Mac App Store. You can also use the Simple Genius website and find a lot of information there as well. But I want to show you the screen. This is the opening window to SG Project, and you'll notice I have a very nice layout, which is one of the great benefits of this application. I have a projects list, a people list, and a reports list. So if you could think about it in those main three sections, it's going to be helpful to you. I'm going to go ahead and add another person. That's one of the things you're going to want to do right off the bat, is come in here and add your people. Because what you're going to do is create tasks, and then you're going to assign people to get those tasks accomplished. So I'm going to go ahead here and click on Add Person, and we're going to add a fictional person. We'll add Bob Smith. So I'm going to put his name in here, Bob Smith. Now, it's helpful to put in email addresses because you can actually send out mass emails or group emails through this application, which is really, really helpful. So Bob Smith at harvestfortwayne.org. You can put his phone number in here. There are two main categories, which is location and skill. You can use that if you chose to do that. You can put tags in here if you wanted to. Values, you can make up values and add them in here, but one thing I will show you is right here, the hourly rate. The hourly rate, now if I want to get really detailed into how much this project will cost, a lot of companies like to see how much time and money their employees are spending on this project. So the hourly rate will give me that detailed tracking ability. Now honestly, for most churches, we typically don't use that. We don't need to tell the elders of the church how much money so-and-so spent as they spent this many hours on this task or whatever. But just to show you, that's the kind of detail that is available in SG Project. So it's very, very helpful. So that's all it takes. And now this person is added to my list. So go back to my overview, and now you'll see Bob Smith is a person on my project. So now let's actually go through and let's look at a project. I'll get to some of these views in just a moment, but I'm going to go over here and click on Add Project. Now, before you get here, you've obviously gone through and you've been through the initiation stage. So you have identified the key objectives. You know why you're doing this project. You've solidified the dream. You've communicated the dream to your key stakeholders. You have buy-in. And you've also done the initial part of planning where you've sat down, you've brainstormed out your main tasks, which I have done right here. So I have the phases, I have the tasks, I have all the details, and what we're going to do is this praise in the park. We are actually going to, in the fall of 2015, going to have a collaboration of several churches that are going to come together, okay? And we are going to host this Praise in the Park evangelical event. But you can think, getting all these churches together, all the details together, it is quite the project. So we're going to put this into software that we can manage. So I put the name here. Now, work schedule, this is important. I'm going to hit this drop-down arrow, and you're going to see there are basically 3 different time frames. So here's the deal. I'm going to plan a project out for so many hours. It's going to assume, if it's on weekdays, that I have an 8 to 5 workday. So Monday, the only time it will schedule work is from 8 to 5 on Monday. It will not schedule over the weekends if I have SG weekdays. Now, for most people in ministry, that's not going to work because we actually do work on Sundays, and a lot of the key parts of our projects come on Sundays. So I'm going to come down here and choose SG all days. If I did all times, there would never be a clocking out, so it would just go completely around the clock. But that's not how it works. I wanted to consider a Monday an 8-hour workday, Tuesday an 8-hour workday. So if I planned a 16-hour task, I want to go from Monday through Tuesday. If I chose all time, it would go just 16 hours all the way through Monday into the night, early morning on Tuesday. You get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and be sure it is SG all days, and that's what I'm going to leave that as. Now, if you want to get more detailed about schedules with the Pro version, you can do that here. You can give a description. We'll just say this is a multi-church evangelical outreach event. And so there you go. That's already in there. Now, I can put, again, the Pro version, baseline. What baseline is, that's like the schedule and the budget or the costs that I want to compare everything else to. So in other words, this is like my plan. I sat down, this is how it should go. Now, is it going to go that way? No, it won't. Projects always cost about 15% more than what you plan and go over 15% on the schedule. So normally it takes more time and costs more money, but I want to be able to compare it in actuality, like what tasks took more time. I can do that by setting up the baseline. I'm not ready to do that yet because I haven't put anything in, but once you put all your tasks in, you have all the costs allotted, then you can come back to this window and say update baseline costs, and it'll put those things in there. If I wanted to, I could add objectives. Again, you should have brainstormed these through. This is initiation phase stuff. I should have some key objectives that I'm trying to do. There's more detail you can put in here, again, with categories and tags and all of that. But you get the idea. Some basic things that I can put here, and I'm going to go ahead then and go back to my overview, and you'll see Praise in the Park is there. Now, I want to check out and add tasks to this. So I'm going to select this project, and I'm going to go over here to Task Plan. And that's going to bring up my Gantt chart. Now, right now, there's nothing added in here, so I'm going to have to do that right now. But let me just talk you through this window really quickly so you can see kind of what's involved. As you can see, I can add tasks. I can delete tasks. I'll talk you through these in just a moment. And it's going to help me with my timelines, my relationships. And this over here is going to build my Gantt chart. Here I can zoom in or zoom out or whatever. But let me add my first level task. So again, I brainstormed and mind mapped out all the different phases of my task. So I have a define the dream phase, a recruit team phase. That's all part of the initiation phase, and I have a planning phase, an execution phase, on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and add the first elements of my initiation phase into my project. So the first thing I'm going to do is come up here and type in initiation phase. Now, it gives it a default duration of 2 days and assumes that today is my start date. I can change all of that, but I'm just going to go ahead and press Enter on my keyboard. Now to change the duration, I can change it here, but we'll do that in just a moment. Since this is not actually a task, this is a phase, I'm going to leave it here for right now. So that's the initiation phase. Now underneath my initiation phase, I have the define the dream section. So I'm going to come up here and click on add and add that as my next level, define the dream. Now, again, the default duration is 2 days. You can see it's adding things to my Gantt chart already. But I'm going to fix this because this is really a subsection of the initiation phase. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, and I'm going to hit this right arrow up here. And what that will do is that will indent define the dream underneath initiation phase. So now click on the Gantt chart. Initiation phase is now a category task, and define the dream is an actual task. But again, I'm going to even go further down into detail by putting in brainstorm goals and objectives and create the concept document. So I'm going to add that in. Brainstorm goals and objectives. Press enter on my keyboard. And then I'm also going to add in create concept document. I'm going to press enter on my keyboard. Now these I'm actually going to indent together. So I'm going to click on number 3, hold down shift on my keyboard, and click on number 4. You see as I hold down shift, both of those are now selected together. And by hitting this right arrow, they both are now indented underneath the define the dream. So the main phase, initiation phase, category phase under that's define the dream, and then my 2 actual tasks. So you can see the levels of detail that I can go to with SG Project, which is one of the reasons why I really like it. So let's go back here and add some durations. Now I can talk a lot about how to figure out durations for a task. There's actually formulas that are out there to help you if you don't know how long a task will take. That's for another workshop. For now, here's what I do when I'm planning out church tasks. I'm going to give myself a full week to just brainstorm goals and objectives. It's not going to take me that many actual hours, but I'm giving myself all that week to get that task accomplished. So this is kind of how I do it in church world. Now, if I was in corporate world and I would need to plan out the exact hours for budgeting purposes, I want to get a little more specific here and not just be so general as I have a whole week to do it. But for my purposes, I'm just going to put in here 1W, which is 1 week. And what you'll see happen, look at the Gantt chart. It's already moving ahead. It's giving me 7 full days of getting that task accomplished. And because I added create the concept document after this one, do you notice it has a little arrow here? It's created a relationship. And this relationship is called finish to start. I have to finish brainstorming goals and objectives before I can start creating the concept document. That's the default relationship of the tasks that you put in here. Now, just to talk to this quickly, not every task is going to have that relationships. Most of them do. I have to finish this task before I start this task. But sometimes you have a start to start. Sometimes you have a finish to finish. So either they start at the same time, start to start, or it doesn't matter how long or when they start, they just have to finish together. That's a finish to finish relationship. I'll show you how to change that in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself another week to create the concept document. So now my Gantt chart's being filled out. I have a full week to brainstorm the goals and objectives, a full week to create the concept document, and I'm going to keep adding in my tasks. So now my next one is going to be recruit the team. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to put that in here, recruit the team. Now this is not a task, but a category task, and one that's on the same level as to find the dream. So with this selected, I'm going to hit this left arrow that'll bring that back underneath to find the dream. I'm going to go ahead and add my tasks underneath that. So I have several different categories. One is going to be for the pastors. I'm going to go ahead and put that down here, and I just again hit that arrow to indent that underneath that task. And then I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. So I'm going to do call the pastors, lunch with pastors, initial brainstorm. So call the pastors, lunch with pastors, and we're going to have that initial brainstorm. So again, shift clicking will allow me to select all three of these. I can indent them at one time underneath the past year's category. And I'm going to go ahead and leave those default durations of 2 days. Should take me more than 2 days to call the guys. Yeah, I give myself a week to plan the lunch with these guys. And probably we'll have a 1 day duration of that. And once I talk to them, I'll actually set an exact start date for this initial brainstorm. It's going to be a meeting, so I'll put an exact start date in there for that. But again, now it's continuing to draw out my Gantt chart, as you can see here. Now I'm going to add in the worship stuff. So I want to show you how to do a start-to-start relationship. So I'm going to go ahead and put in here worship, and I'm going to go ahead and indent that underneath there. Now I'm going to go ahead and double-click this task, and you'll see this general info, this display window come up. And some great things I can do there. But under the links area, this is where you can set up those different types of relationships. So I can set whatever I want as the, so I'm going to put a start to start. And what will happen is when this initial brainstorming session is starting, the worship can start as well. So I'm going to go ahead and drag that back. And you can see by clicking and holding and dragging it back, now these two are starting at the same time. And that creates a different kind of relationship. So again, some great detail you can add in here. I think you get the idea. I could continue going through here doing the same thing for all of these tasks, figuring out the duration, putting them all in, and I'm going to have a really nice planned out action list or work breakdown structure, Gantt chart, whatever you want to call it, right here in this window. So a lot of great things I can do. Now, just to talk you through these other things, action list is a little different. It's not tasks. It's actions that need to be taken separate from the tasks. And so it just gives you another area where you actually put down like different items you need to do that don't really fall on the work breakdown structure, but just things that have to happen. Don't use it a whole lot, but it can be used. And then these are the things that are going on right now that need to be done. So it just gives you just a quick little overview of what's happening. But I'm going to go back to projects here, and you can see all of my projects are there, and I'm going to show you this great thing where I can see them all. I'm going to go and delete this one. This is an accident. So I'm going to show you now how I can see all of these in one window. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Praise in the Park, hold down Shift, select all the different ones I want to see, and when I go back to my task list now, this is beautiful. So here are all of my projects. You can see I have this initiation initiative, invitation initiative that we're working on currently, and haven't updated it this week, so it says we're behind. We're really not. But we're working hard on that. We're working on these small group barbecues that we have going on right now. And here you can see, here's my beautiful Gantt chart, and along my Gantt chart, this line right here shows me the exact day, so I can see exactly where I'm at on this. And I've added people to this. By the way, to do that, you just simply choose from the drop-down arrow, you list the people, and that's how you get them assigned to them. But one of the reasons why I love the Pro version is it gives me this great window where I can see what all is going on in one big view, all of my projects in one window to see how are we doing, are we ahead, are we behind, where are we at on that. Love that view. So the other view I wanted to show you is the reports view. Now with the initial version, not the Pro version, but the standard version of SG Project, you only have one report you can print out. That report gives you the summary, gives you the Gantt chart, gives you the task list, and it's okay. But I wanted a little bit more. So I'll show you the complete report. I'm going to go ahead and choose our Praise in the Park event, and just so you can see this. Now, on the Pro version, you have a lot of detail here. So I can do a report name, report title, I can do a single project, a multi-project report, a single person report. I love this. I can just print out the task list for one person. Even if it spans over multiple projects, they can get their task list. Extremely, extremely helpful. And then down here, I can choose a different section. So the project summary, the project schedule, info, the people list. Milestones, by the way, are any task with a 0-day duration. If you went back to your task list and you plan on duration 0 day, that becomes a milestone. And again, I could do a whole workshop on what milestones are, but that's how you create them, and that would be your chart. Your top level is just your main phases of your project. So again, lots of different detail here that you can have. But let me just show you. This would be the full report. You can see it gives me a start date, gives me a Gantt chart, gives me a task list. Pretty decent report, but you can do all kinds of stuff. So I've done like a simple task list. I've done just lists and actions if that's something that I wanted to print out. So lots of different ways of reporting. The great thing about these is when you hit the share button here, you're actually able to email out the report via PDF. And that's really great. Again, this is mainly how we communicate here. We're a very paperless office. So I send PDFs out to the people who are involved, their task lists, you know, status updates. All of that is done here through the reporting. So that's SG Project, the basics of SG Project. I, again, really love the software. I think it is a fantastic way of managing projects, a very user-friendly, but detailed and a way of managing them for really a very low cost. And when you consider, again, Microsoft Project is nearly $1,000. So when you're talking about 40 to even 120, whatever it is, it's not much at all to be able to get into some great detail and project management. But if you've never really got into project management, some of these terms like baseline and Gantt charts and finish to finish and start to start, all that can be very confusing. But once you get a handle on some of those things, it's a really great tool of keeping track of projects. If you'd like more information about that or more detailed training, let me know. I'd love to be of help to you any way that I could. Hope that's helpful, and God bless.